Hey, hi guys. We are discussing uh, our top 3 methods for supporting blended learners. So I have for my number 1 method leaving prompt, constructive, and personalized feedback. So students can disengage if they don't feel challenged, they don't understand the rationale behind the lesson, or if they feel isolated and cut off from their teacher and or their peers. This is why feedback is so important, as it tells students that we see them, we recognize their efforts, and we can redirect and correct them when need be. So at my school we use Google Classroom. So a lot of times there will be feedback in Google Classroom. If it's a warm-up, such as this was a warm-up, this class was reading Richard Wright's Native Son. So they just left a brief response, but even in that, I saw an opportunity where a student wasn't capitalizing first person I, which is a big no-no, so we got that corrected, and then I just gave them some kind of positive encouragement after they made the correction. So in addition to Google Classroom, I like Padlet as well. This is good for, again, just a quick, either an exit ticket or just an online discussion. So here these students were taking a short quiz on logical fallacies and then posting their score and any perceived weaknesses that they saw. And this particular student was displeased that he scored a 50. And so, again, I just felt like it was my place to say, well, that's okay. This is where we want to get the low score. Not on the AP exam. We want to get that, well before we take the exam, so then we can see which areas we need to address. Okay, so my number 1 method was feedback. And of course, sometimes the feedback is more extensive than these examples, but I digress. So my number 2 method for supporting blended learners is striking a balance. In other words, maximizing the personalization and differentiation of 21st century technologies with the benefits of face-to-face synchronous instruction. So next year I want to take about 15 minutes per class for students to work on interactive grammar exercises. So I've had success in the past with sites like IXL. So here, what kind of sentence is this? Declarative. So students can do these grammar exercises, and IXL is great because you get a lot of data to kind of see where students are at and where they need to improve. Another fun site is Grammar Bytes. There are a lot of interactive exercises with this one as well. Do one real quick here. Their body, so his, her body. Yeah. Okay, and then so what's nice about this one? So if the sound was turned on, there are some kind of funny sound effects with the site, but additionally, it tells the student whether they got the problem correct or not, but then also provides the explanation, which is also important. So there's IXL, Grammar Bytes, and then also freerice.com. What I like about this one is, so we have some vocabulary questions. Okay, so mist means fog. Okay, and for each correct answer, this site donates 10 grains of rice to the World Food Program. So that's just a really nice feature there. But going back to the number 2 method, striking a balance. So because we use Google Classroom as well as other Google applications, I want to use Google Calendar to schedule rotating one-on-one meetings with students where they can also request additional meetings with me if they like. But the idea is that I'll have, if I divide the class especially if it's a larger class, half of the class can be working on these interactive grammar exercises with their earbuds in if they need, while I can be having these one-on-one meetings with students. And if we, say, do grammar exercises for 15 minutes, I could probably knock out 2 or 3 one-on-one meetings during that time. And speaking of time, my number 3 method for supporting blended learners is allocating tech time and unplugged time through structured time management. So I've found in my first 2 years of teaching that if I allow students to go online at the start of class, it can be tough to bring them back once they kind of go down the internet wormhole. So I like to use the first 15 minutes of class to go over the day's objectives and complete a warm-up activity before transitioning into online or offline work. So as I said, I find it beneficial, especially in larger classes, to divide the class in half. That way, as one half is working online, I can be working with the other half, either delivering face-to-face instruction, or they might be reading or writing. And then the students, because they enjoy being online, computer usage can also be used to incentivize students. So if a student is being disruptive during instruction, maybe they lose their online privileges for that day and they have to complete the assignment on paper if feasible. So just to kind of review, so my top 3 methods for supporting blended learning. Number 1, leaving prompt, constructive, and personalized feedback. Number 2, striking a balance between using the technology and face-to-face instruction. And number 3, allocating tech time and unplugged time through structured time management. That's it. Thanks for listening.